But I've done that too. Another interesting story. You want one more?
Yeah.
Who's won the Super Bowl? It was the 49ers this time, and it was in Miami. And we got to Miami, and I got to my hotel room at midnight, and they said, there's a riot going on in Miami. We want you to do a story. Well, midnight there is 9 o'clock here, so I can still make our deadline. So I remember calling, I think the 49ers were playing Cincinnati. I called Paul Brown's son, and I got somebody at the 49ers, and I just threw it together. Well, the next day, it was Monday. It's not the big day where the press conferences usually start on Tuesday. So Monday, I woke up and I thought, you know, maybe I ought to go see what this is about. So I walked up to a police barricade. I'm not the bravest guy. I'm really not. But I walked up this police barricade, and there were all these cops and armaments. And it's what do you need? I said, well, I'm a newspaper man from California. I'd like to cover this event. He looked at me and he says, if you go in there, we're not coming in after you. I thought, well, that's a good sign. So I don't know, maybe I was sleepy or something, but I just didn't feel any threat. So I started walking into this area, I can't remember, something town, not Oakland, something, but anyway, I started walking in, and I walked a few blocks, and I saw two guys sitting on a lounge chair. They were African American gentlemen. I walked up and I said, "You think I'll have any problem?" "No, man, you should be all right." So I kept walking. It was about 10 blocks to where a policeman had shot a kid on a motorcycle, and that started the riot. Miami was burning, but only in a certain section. So I kept riding, and two guys came up to me, and I could see they wanted a piece of me. They said, "Look, I'm a newspaper man out of town. I need bodyguards." I had to think of something. I says, "If you guys will go with me, I've got some money on me, and I'll pay you, but not until I'm done. You have to be my bodyguard." I can see one of them definitely was on drugs. He was really spaced out. His name was Red. And so we kept walking, and we went to a place called the Newhouse, NU, and I walked in. It was all African Americans. And the white guy walks in. I said, "Listen, I'm not from here. I'm from out of town. I want to hear your stories. Besides that, let me buy you a beer." So there might have been 6 or 7 people there, and they were nice. And they talked to me, and I bought them around whatever they wanted. So I said, how much money do I have in my pocket? I had to pay these guys. So they were waiting for me, and then we started to walk back out, and they walked me down the street. Just as we were getting close to where I felt safe, 4 guys converged on us. And the 2 guys said something to them that they later told me if it wasn't for us, they would jump you. I said, so I got to a point where I felt safe. I said, "Look, you guys have been great." I reached in my pocket. Again, everything I had was about $45. They were happy. They could use that for whatever they needed it for. And I remember walking past that same barricade, and that same cop was there. He just looked at me like I was still alive, right? And I walked by and I thought, you know, I probably have an exclusive story. I was the only writer at that Super Bowl who walked in. Others took a cab by, and it was really hard. But I was lucky. And I went and I said, boy, I bet I got a great story. You know what happened the same day? The first police shooting at a schoolyard. Now you hear it all. It was in Stockton. Do you remember that?
1989.
What was that?
1989.
29ers, it was 1989. Yeah, that's where Montana led that long drive. That's right.
1847.
Yeah, it was the head of the paper, and I didn't tell anybody, my sports editor or anybody who was in Miami with me what I was going to do. He probably wouldn't have let me do it, but I did it. It was a great story, but it was, instead of being on the top of the newspaper, it was down at the bottom because the Stockton story was big. But that's probably, I'm not a courageous guy, but I stood in front of John Matuszek while he was threatening me. And his eyes looked very strange, as they usually did. You know, when the Twos wrote a book, Cruising with the Twos, I went over to do an interview with him. I always liked him. But I could see he was just destroying himself. And I said, you know, Twos, I never thought you'd make your 40th birthday. It was after I interviewed him. He said, 40, what about 30? It was friendly. He didn't make his 40th birthday. I don't think Lyle Zato did either. It's just a terrible life that the guys that get involved in those steroids and stuff. So, probably one of the things I'm proudest of, I'm not patting myself on the back, but I gave up my voting rights for the Baseball Hall of Fame because I didn't want to vote in somebody on steroids. It's pretty hard to identify them, although we know who they are. But so I've been watching, I gave this up years ago, I've been watching who's been going into the Hall of Fame. And there were guys that were under suspicion back then, but their voting went in. I think there was 2 writers who gave up their voting right when I did it. But my conscience is clear. You know, this is the game my dad took me to. You know, when I was a boy, we lived in Menlo Park, and we mostly went to Seals games in San Francisco, the minor league. But we came over and watched the Oaks in that old ballpark over there in Emeryville with the short right field port. It's 297 down the right field line. Pop fly could get out. And so I had an uncle in Hamlet here, so I liked going to games in Oakland by the fire station there. And they used to have a thing called a major minor league game, and it was played after the season was over. And whoever was in town, I mean, Joe DiMaggio played, Billy Martin, remember, he took one at bat, and then he was going off to get married. They announced it. It was just his first marriage. This was like 1949 or something, or at 50. He had just gone to the Yankees. So Billy Martin was an interesting guy. He was just like a powder keg. And one time in spring training, should I tell you that story?
Yeah.
To keep your mind off football? We were in a place called, it was a very popular sports bar restaurant called the Pink Pony. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's in Scottsdale. So Billy Martin was in there, kind of in his cups. He was in his cups, which he usually is. And I walked out with him. And he said, you know, you just wrote a column about how African Americans aren't being treated right in baseball. There's no managing positions for most of them. And he said, and out of the blue, he says, what about the American Indian? The American Indian? And I could see he was getting angry. We were out in the parking lot. It must have been 12 o'clock at night. It must have been early for him, late for me. And I could see what could happen. If I said, Billy, you're crazy, he'd take a swing. He's always done that. There was a guy named Lee Walls, who was the batting coach. Lee Walls was a big man. And as soon as Billy said that, I hadn't said anything. Lee Walls walked between us. Because he just knew how combustible Billy was. And I said, you know, Billy, you might be right. In order to douse the situation, I said, I will look into that. Maybe it's true. Maybe there is a column on Native Americans. I mean, American Indians in baseball, I don't know who they are. There can't be too many that I know of. So that doused the situation. So, there are moments when you could get into trouble. I don't know what was worse, challenging Billy Martin or walking through that riot section. maybe the nature was equal. But I love being a sports writer. I really did. And I feel sorry for Oakland. All these teams want to leave. Now let me tell you something. If I haven't said this before, I'll say it now. If you heard it before, please don't stop me. But the Coliseum is in the most perfect place in the Bay Area. You're in the middle of 5 counties. You've got BART running by it on one side. You've got the freeway running by it on the other. The airport's 10 minutes away, 10 minutes away.
All the hotels.
All the hotels in the town. What's that?
All the hotels are going to be hurting.
Well, a lot of people are going to be hurting. But,
Me?
It's in a perfect situation. Coliseum has Contra Costa County to the north, Santa Clara County to the east. You've got San Mateo County to the south, and to the west you've got San Francisco Marin County. It's in Bob Newhouse, the father of the Coliseum, built that thing in a perfect spot, and nobody accepts him. The teams that are there, the Warriors are building a place in San Francisco that's not near BART, it's not near the freeway,
Oh, it's bad.
and it's near a hospital.
Horrible.
And I have a thought in my head that I hope it doesn't come to fruition. I hope there's not an emergency thing where an ambulance is trying to get to the hospital.
Oh, it's just a matter of time, Dave.
Just during pregame traffic. If that happens and somebody expires, you'll see the biggest lawsuit you've ever seen in your life.
Yeah, that's right.
I think the management of the Warriors, Bob Myers, it's an incredible job. I can't believe what he did when they lost the playoffs. He got the players together and they went and they recruited a week later Kevin Durant. That's a milestone for Coody. And he came a week after losing the championship series with LeBron. He gathered all the great players. They had Curry, they had Thompson, Draymond, and the management, and they all flew out to New Jersey. And it was incredible. What a recruiting job. How could he say no? They offered a lot of money too. And now they got DeMarcus Cousins coming in. If they lose, there ought to be an investigation. That's quite a team. That's quite a team. And Bob Myers is the general manager. He's really good.
Yeah.
He's really sharp. So
Yeah, but they're, all these fans, we supported them all this year when he stunk, and now he gets like $100,000 a game for a courtside seat, I mean, come on, man, what the hell is that?
there was 18 years where they made the playoffs once, and the place was sold out, damn near sold out. Then when they enlarged it, they put in more seats to a person my height. You couldn't sit down without your knees flat up against the seat against it. These billionaire owners, they love to gouge us. They really do. And they always want you to build a stadium, except in San Francisco. I think they handle that ballpark. That's a beautiful park.
What do you think of the A's owners, Dave? Do you think they're really gonna build this park with their own money?
You sure there is an A's owner and he never comes out?
Oh, I know, he's in back there with Bela Lugosi and all those guys,
They're hiding in the gap someplace, right? Something like that. I don't know. I don't like the Howard terminal because you're not. You know what?
Well, why not that?
Some of the most powerful people are some of the most stupid people. The Coliseum is perfect. I mean, you'll never get a site like that. And the Raiders are going to fail in Las Vegas. I tell you, they're going to fail because Las Vegas is
those home games, right? Home games when the Patriots and the Steelers come to Las Vegas, right? It's gonna look like the Raider game in LA,
like San Diego.
Right.
Only
Vice versa.
Sunday.
Right.
And the Chargers leaving San Diego to go to Los Angeles ownership, I tell you, people are creeps. Why would you do that? We've all been in games in San Diego, right? And the fans are loyal. They have the Chargers